all those properties, one is you can simply memorize them like this. This is a right angle triangle, this is cyclic, so it will add up to 90. This is a right angle triangle where this will be equal, these two are equal. You drop it, there is another right angle triangle, the tangent Paprika theorem, drop it, these two are equal, then this is 2 by 1, these two are equal, and these two are equal. Like this you can memorize. This is one approach. You can memorize as much as you can and practice, if possible, 500 geometry questions. You will do very well. You will do better if you are not doing it, and if you take it at this level. You think this way, think of this way. If you are looking at maximum quadrilaterals, you can also have hexagons and all in a circle. We'll see them later. It's not that it's difficult because there are 6 points and not 4. It won't become difficult because it's still 6 points. So, when you think of all the diagrams, what the properties can be related like this. Suppose you start like this. One is 4 points are defined. I'll start with 4 because using which I'll explain both quadrilaterals as well as triangles. And this is just to make you think, because all those properties are more or less interrelated. Here, first you can prove them like this. If this is AB, this is AB, you can prove all these theorems by using these 4 words. That is just in the diagram itself, without bringing in the variables or any of. If I select this, and if I just make it upside down, it will still be AB, right? Now, if you want to call it a new property, write CD and tell that AB equal to CD. I'm just proving the properties in the diagram itself. Now, if you assume that here itself, if you actually consider right angle triangle, now when you are making it upside down, this will be a right angle triangle, right? This will be a right angle triangle. And if you drop this line AB parallel and take A1, B1, same length and same length here, rotate it 90 degrees, it will become like this, and now it will become a square and a circle, because we were considering only 90-degree angles in the original diagram. So we know that over here, this will be equal to this. You can relate this in the way you want, there is no rule here. You can connect 1 to 9 and 9 to 1, if I discuss 9 now. So these two are equal. Or if I take this and okay, better will be like, I'll show it at much lower level. You take this and take 4 points, name it ABCD. Now I told you solving is nothing but join the points. What is the meaning of solving? If your aim is to solve questions, just nothing but join the points. And think of all the basic properties. So one which you can think of is when all the 4 points are on the circle, let me call it ABCD. One, you can join the lines like this, where without crossing each other, you're joining the 4 points, we call it cyclic. So this is one property which you can think of. See, it should be the other way around. When you see a circle and 4 points, you should relate to this property. Or if you are crossing the lines like this, then you know that these two are equal, because we are talking about the same arc here. AB is fixed, so these two are equal. Or you can also take it as right, these two triangles are nothing but, these two are similar triangles. We'll talk about similar triangles also, but these two are similar triangles. That is AXB and DXC, they are similar triangles. And we can also write that this, that is BX into DX, will be equal to AX into CX. That's all based on similar triangles. Now these are all properties which you can just scan through when you see ABCD on the circle. That is when 4 on the circle. Because we already considered all the possible cases. One taking like this and one taking like this. Now, special cases we can anyway define later. Now think of a scenario where you consider 3 of them on the circle. See, first we considered 4 points on the circle. I'm just asking you to think. Next, think of 3 on the circle, 3 on, 1 in. And that inner point, the one which can be easily defined, is a center. It can be based on any point also, any point, but the properties are the ones which will work anywhere. Then only you can call it as a property. So now think of 3 on the circle, next is 3 on and 1 inside the circle, where 1 is nothing but the sender. And connect all the properties here. You can even connect it with the previous ones, where 4 are on the circle. That's the best part. So if you consider this, I'm just defining 3 points here. 1 is here and 3 like this. Now join all the points. When you join all the points, this is one obvious one which you will take. This is 2 by 1. If somebody is asking why is it 2 by 1, then you can prove it by keep this AB same, don't change AB. This is C. Now bring C somewhere here, take it as C1 and join the points. It's because I'm not changing A and B. So what will happen is, if this is 1, this is 1, this will be 2. This is why it is 2 by 1, right? 1, 1 and 2. Now the best part is this. Now, so the only question is the C1, this A, C1, B and these two are anyway equal, right? That we know. That is the previous property where we considered the 4 on the circle. So 4 on the circle can be directly related to 3 on the circle and 1 inside by connecting this. So this is 2 by 1. And while learning the property anyway, we normally take it as diagram is like this, 2 by 1. Now 3 on the circle. Now the same 2 by 1, this is the best part. So from this 2 by 1, let's prove the next one. This is all, I'm just giving you proof in the diagram itself, and which are very easy to and interesting to understand. Now move A and B away from each other in such a way that, so push A and B away from each other and stop at a point where it's taking its maximum length. We call it a diameter. So it's nothing but a special case of the previous property where this 2 will turn out to be 180 and this 1 will become 90. So these are not new properties. You try relating the way you want, that's when you will really learn this. You don't need to follow this order. Next class I'll give you a different order. But no, you don't need to wait for that. You can learn 1 to 9, 9 to 1, 5 to 9, back to 1, because they're all interrelated. And all these properties what I discussed till now are based on basically maximum 4 points. And what is that you can think of? 4 on the circle, 3 on the circle, 1 inside, 3 on the circle, 1 outside. You will prove everything. Now, so right now we are discussing 3 on the circle and 1 inside, right? 3 on the circle, 1 inside. So this is 90, this is 180, so this will be 90. There is nothing new in that. It's the same 2 by 1. But a special case where we know that it's 180 because it's a straight line. Now, from the same diagram, if you think further, I'm not teaching you anything, this is how you should learn ideally. And then, now we were talking about, so A here, B here, C here, right? Now, this is 3 on the circle. 3 on the circle as of now. As of now, it's 3 on the circle. Now, take 1 outside. Now how you can take that is, this 3, now this is the word, move B closer to C. And we know that there won't be any change because we are not changing this arc here. This will be same, B1 will be same, A, B2, C will be same. So as of now, this BC, B1C, B2C they're all secants. It's cutting the circle at 2 points. Stop at a point where this is what you are trying to do, make B equal to C. Then what will happen is, the same line, so this is not changing, right? This is still same. This is what we discuss as tangent secant theorem. This is tangent secant theorem, which is in a question you will identify by looking at 1 outside and 3 on the circle. That's how we should relate. If you just try learning through lines, there is an issue, because a lot of questions, just to make it look difficult, all the points will be crisscrossed while making the question, just to make it look difficult. It can never be difficult if the question is about circles and points. If the question is about circles and points, you're talking about all these basic properties, you call it 9, 10, 20, 30, it's basically 1 or 2. Not even 1 or 2, you are looking at 4 points and a circle. and different ways of placing them. And there are not many, right? 4 outside, 4 on the circle, 3 on the circle, 2 on the circle. 2 on the circle is, this is the other one, right? Now if you make just 2 on the circle, 1 inside and 1 outside, all these things we have already seen, right? And now if you're looking at 4 outside the circle, I already showed you all 4 outside the circle. You might look at like this. If it's only 3 outside the circle, you might look at like this. This might look like this. No, so whether it's length based, angle based, everything can be. Angle based means you'll have to bring this into the picture and further divide them into these points, right? All the points wherever it's touching, these 3 are 3 kites. Angle based questions you will further divide and take angle bisectors. You can start solving them. Most importantly, you can start making questions. You can start predicting questions. Diagram wise also it's easy, right? If you bring all of them together also. So properties are all interrelated. Finally, when you solve questions, you should start seeing the diagrams at the point level. You should start looking at the diagrams at the point level. You'll start solving them really fast. Any number of properties, you don't need to worry. So they're all interrelated. Whether you know it or not, you can connect and start solving them. That's why most of the angle-based questions you can solve in multiple ways. So, now when you are solving questions also, this is another, now all the 4 diagrams, if this one ratio you can note down, or while solving questions I'll discuss that. See question number, let's solve some questions. What are the possible questions? Question types are, you can have length-based questions, or you can have area-based questions. When I'm talking about plane geometry here, that is only up to 2D, right? 1-dimensional, 2-dimensional, as of now. 1-dimensional questions, 2-dimensional questions. You can say specific questions as angle-based questions, or some more specific questions, particularly you can say heights and distances. Heights and distances are nothing but right angle triangles. And other word for this is right angle triangles. So they can never be difficult if it's about right angle triangles. These are not chapters the way it's given in most of the books. This is a chapter, right? Heights and distances. You need 5 minutes to complete the chapter. So length-based questions, let's look at what are the ways you can expect length-based questions, right? Maximum number of questions will be given by using this logic. Length into length is equal to some other ways of finding the same area. And while making the question, so while solving, this is what you should expect. Just one will be left as an unknown. This is very, very important, length-based questions. This kind of a classification. Now instead of giving L3 into L4 on the right hand side, area can be given directly also for a particular diagram. So using this, you can make a length-based question. It can also be, same thing can be like this. In words, I can write it as, a diagram can be cut into parts. So sum of parts equal to total area. So this looks very simple, right? But if I put this logic in the question will look very difficult. It will look difficult actually, as far as CAT level is concerned. So again, all these difficult terms are relatively difficult. It won't be for you. It's as per CAT level. So sum of parts equal to overall area is another logic. So these are very basic things. This is a typical question which you will never get because it's so easy. If I write 25, 15 here, finding this distance, you will never get because that's 12. How do we find this out? By equating 2 different methods of finding the area. Half into 25 into h is half into 20 into 15. So you can find h. This is an example for L1, L2, L3, L4, out of which one is not given. Now, it's too easy a question for you to get in the paper. So what they'll do is when they're making the questions, they'll put the same diagram and put 2 extra circles which are actually not required just to make it look difficult. This is an actual CAT question. This is how the questions are made. How is it made difficult? Because it's all based on 10 standard math, right? Max 11 standard. It's made difficult by giving you things which are not necessary. Not just in math. Everywhere it's like that. Identifying what is relevant, what is important is all about solving. It's all about cracking the exam. So now the same question, I can write it as distance between two centers as 25, where the circles are with radii 20 and 15. Find this common secant. What is it called? Common secant. So, because it's cutting both the circles at 2 points. Finding this distance, this common secant it's an actual CAT question. But what is different here? There's nothing different, right? Just two circles are unnecessarily given. That's only difference here. So answer is 12 here, 12 here. I'm not making my questions. Unfortunately, this is most of the times this is CAT level. Most of the times. So, unfortunately or fortunately. Now this 12 plus 12 is 24, right? Now the second logic of sum of parts equal to overall area, right? It's actually the same logic. Sum of parts equal to overall area. This is what you should expect. Question will be made like this. This is how you should make a question. Give x, y, z for a triangle. You need to give x, y, z and put a circle or semicircle over there. Now find the radius. It's not an easy question. It is very easy, but just made to look difficult. So if x, y, z is given, finding this is R, is as easy as, what is the method? Cut the diagram. The method is cut the diagram. While making questions, this is what you will think of. Sum of parts equal to overall area. But solving questions is easy. Just cut the diagram and equate the same thing. Then how will you solve? See, we don't need to solve questions here. You can expect them. If x, y, z is given, indirectly, what is given? Area is given. What area is given? Overall area of this triangle. Overall area of this triangle ABC is given, or you can find out. I just need to give these three sides. X, Y, Z given means you know how to find the area of a triangle, right? Root of S into S minus A, S minus B, S minus C. Now, so after getting the area, so you have the area on the right hand side. What is not given? X is given, Y is given. What is not given? R is not given. That's what you need to find out. And how do you find out? Just cut the diagram. You cut the diagram, it's over. This is what you call solving. You might say, just to make it look math, you can say join A to this point. But now how is it over? This is just logic, right? It's not math, it's just logic. It's over because you have on the left hand side you have half into x into r plus half into y into r. X is given, y is given, only r is left out. This is how you make a supposedly difficult question. This is not easy. Easy questions are not worth mentioning anywhere. This is what you call difficult. You write this in words, it's a difficult geometry question in CAT. Don't tell me it's an easy one. If you see a paper with 4 geometry questions, this will be the most difficult in that paper. Finding this out. Finding the radius of the maximum semicircle which can be fit into a triangle with given sides x, y, z. Or you can think about circle and a square. Triangle and a square. They are all possible questions. But finally, see, when you see a diagram, what is the most important thing is you being able to read this as there's a triangle and another triangle inside. So they are similar. Then it's over. Or if I show you a question like this, these are all similar triangles, all of them, right? You have something like this, something like this, something like this. They are all similar triangles. Now, to make it look difficult, some circles and all will be put here and there and all. But seeing this at this level is what matters. Triangle in a triangle in a triangle and all, they are all similar. So similar triangles also I'll discuss like that only, in just through diagrams, not through SAS and SS and all. This is how you get similar triangles, right? Either like this or like this. They are all similar triangles. So that is part of one of the coming sessions. Again, it's just a 10-15 minutes discussion. Your similarity, what we have wasted a lot of time, is over in no time, only in diagrams. So, but here, I am discussing how to expect length-based questions. So L1, L2 equal to L3, L4. So see question number 1. That's an example for what I have discussed just now. So all the initial sessions are mainly from a conceptual point of view, just to make you think in multiple directions. Completing the sheet will happen in the coming sessions. So more than solving the questions made by me, it's better to make your own questions or to reach that level. So ABC is PQR is a triangle, equilateral triangle. You can take any point inside, and then this is what you need to find out. Right? Diagram is given. Side is given as 5. That means the right hand side is already given, right? That's easy. Root 3 by 4, 5 square. Now, it looks a very different question than what I've just explained right now. But logically you can think on the same lines. Cut the sum of parts equal to overload area. It's over. So the only thing which you are doing is cut the diagram. You cut the diagram, it's over. Now you can think of root 3 by 4, 5 square as sum of these three triangles, right? You have three triangles here. And you are supposed to find out this OL, OM and OR. And when you are equating this sum of parts, what is POR? POR is half into 5 into OL on the left hand side. QOR is half into 5 into OR. And POR is half into 5 into OM. What is only unknown on the left hand side? Half into 5 into OL, OM and ON. And this is the required answer. Your aim is to find sum of these three length sides, right? These three distances, right? OM, ON and OL. So the logic is the same. You cut the diagram, solve the question. By what is the logic? Sum of parts. Cut the diagram means it's nothing but sum of parts equal to overall area. And while making the question, you either need to give the area, or you can either give the area, or you can give enough data so that they can find the area using some other method. And don't give everything else, then it won't be a question. Just leave one of the L values as an unknown. One of the L values as an unknown value. So this length into length, equating with some other area, this is another supposedly difficult question. Area of a triangle is 80. So one side is given as 20, the other side is given as 10. Find the third side. It's about equating different methods of finding the area. But in a diagram, if you do that, half into 20 into h is 80. So h will be 8. H is equal to 8. This is an actual question. A better one, I'll say. So Now there is a right angle triangle. So 10, 8, this will be 6. So this will replace it by 14. There is another right angle triangle. So x is nothing but root of 196 plus 64. This is a difficult question. What is difficult? Because most of the people, as soon as they read, they won't visualize. What they'll try doing is, they'll try writing root of s into s minus a into s minus b into s minus c. And you'll take s as 30 plus x by 2. And then you'll get the answer, but you'll end up wasting a lot of time. Which is as easy as, including the people who write your books, they do that. There's an actual question, and that's how the solution is given in almost all the books. Even though the question is as easy as 20 here, 10 here, x here. This dropping a perpendicular is what people don't even think, because it's very difficult. And when we know that, see, there is nothing much we need to expect, right? In a triangle, there are only few lines which we need to drop. It's called altitudes, medians, perpendicular bisectors, and angle bisectors. And nothing else. At the level in which you get questions, you don't need to expect anything else. Think of all those points, all those lines. This will become a direct question. It's not an easy one, but it's very easy now. Area is 80. The data given was, area was given, these two lengths were given. So, once you drop a perpendicular, you will get this as 8. You will immediately write this as 6, because 10, 8, 6 is a 10, 8, 6 will match with x square plus y square equal to z square. And remaining distance is 14, right? So, this is not big, it's a very basic Pythagoras theorem question. 8th standard level, so 260. There is one more good question based on the same logic, right? It's a length based question, L1, L2, L3, L4. L3, L4 can also be directly given as area. Now, one more, I'm just giving you questions how you can think of. Now, there's a triangle, same triangle which I've given before. 25, 20, and 15. Now, this is a supposedly difficult question. So, you have two triangles here, two more right angle triangles. A, B, C is one triangle. A, D, C is another triangle. Find the sum of in radius in these two triangles. I'll say this is one of the most difficult questions from a previous paper. Difficult is wrong, time consuming ones. But the fact is, now this R1, R2 is again by, what is R1? That's again length, right? Some length. So equate R into S with, we know how to find the area, right, of these triangles. Because we know this line is 12. If that is 12, this will be 9. And this will be 16. So everything is given now. Both are right angle triangles. So it's nothing but equating two different methods of finding the area. And it's all the same, right? I'm showing you so many questions across. They're all based on, the logic is same, equating two different methods of finding the area. So now, how do we find this in radius here? In radius, how will you find out? We know how to find the area. Using half into product of perpendicular sides. Half into 9 into 12. So that's 54. That is 54, right? 54 is also equal to R1 into S. Or R1 into S1. What is R1? That is in radius. So, what is S1? 15 plus 12 plus 9 by 2. Which is 18. So, R1 is equal to 3. Same way you can find out R2 also. Time consuming, but it's not difficult anyway. Because you know that it's a length based question. So, you know that it's about equating areas. Same area but in different ways. So, how do you find R2? You have an encircle over there also. Here, R2 S2 equal to, what is the area? Half into 12 into 16, which is 96. What is S2? What is S2? Semi-perimeter, right? So 20 plus 16 plus 12. That is 48 by 2 is 24. So what is R2? R2 is 4. So answer is 3 plus 4 equal to 7. This is an actual question. I told you sometimes you get questions at this level also. But I don't think you will consider this difficult. Now, these patterns are you won't solve it like this, right? Because these are all direct patterns. Finally, you will learn at this fast that 3, 4, 5, R will be 1 and R will be 2.5. This we'll do it only towards the end. And if it is 6, 8, 10, that means it's 2 and it's 5. And if it is 9, 12, 15, these are all Pythagonal triplets. with the same ratio of 3:4:5. Then this will be 3 and this will be 7.5. And if it is 12, 16, 20, in radius will be 4, circumradius will be 10. That's with the multiple of 2.5. And in 25, that is 15, 20, 25, this will be 5 and this will be 12.5. So, by the time you take the paper, you will take only this much time. You see this triangle, 3 plus 4, answer is 7. Faster than the guy who is making a paper. 100%. 99%. Some of them will anyway know these patterns. So, but most of them won't. Answer is 3 plus 4, 7. Now, I am talking about 3:4:5 right angle triangles. This is not for beginning. Finally, in pattern workshop, this is exactly what we will do. And the scope for explaining more and more patterns is very limited because it's much easier than what you think in terms of predicting. If I tell you that this triangle itself, this is what you will see maximum number of times in all papers put together. The triangle where even the numbers are fixed. This is the most frequently asked right angle triangle values in previous CAT papers. Most frequently asked. I've already discussed enough 2-3 questions based on these values itself. There is a reason because once you take a triangle like this, 25, 20, 15, even the inner ones are right angle triangles with the same ratio. So, while making questions, lot of scope. But this is not what you need to learn. I am not teaching you any pattern. I am teaching you how to actually predict questions at a much lower level so that it will cover everything. Now, so length-based questions is what I am discussing, right? Now, one more thing, which so going back to question number 1. This is question number 1, right? Where we got the answer after doing all these predictions. Even that's not required because that's a question which you don't need to predict because of this word. Effectively, what is given? You read that question once more, then you will see this word. Explicitly given. Telling you do whatever you want. It means do whatever you want. So, that is why, and now you see, with the same set of options which was given, marking the answer, you might take more time than getting the answer. Because you will simply push this point here, question is over. This is also common sense. It's nothing more than common sense. There is not much scope for too much thinking and all. This is given explicitly. And then if you are trying to follow all those predictions and all what we have discussed, you are wasting time. You can take any point, right? This is the question. Any point. So the best point to be taken is take P equal to O. So that finally, see, you always ask the question in words. What is the question? You need to find the cumulative distance from this point to all the 3 sides. Now, this is a point on this line, so there is no distance only, that's 0. It's on this line also, so that's 0 plus 0. And to this distance, we know this is a standard distance. What is the distance? It's called h. And what is h? Root 3 by 2 into side. This is 100% faster than the guy who's making a paper. If you are solving like this. And don't tell me it's difficult to think like this. There's nothing to think. So, it's because it's a flexible question. Now, why is it a flexible question? Because you can take any point. Yeah, you might tell that you can't take this point because it's theoretically wrong because it's given that it's inside the triangle and all. I agree. That's what some of you are thinking right now. I have an answer for those who have that particular doubt. That's the only doubt which you can have. There's no scope for any doubt. Please don't start asking doubts in geometry and all. There are areas where you can, but not in geometry. Because you can approximately take P equal to O. You're sitting so far from me. It's not P equal to O. It's infinitely close to P. That is why answer is infinitely close to 0, infinitely close to 0, and infinitely close to root 3 by 2 into 5. So we'll mark the answer as root 3 by 2 into 5. I agree it's a compromise, but that's what is required. So, okay, so that's an easy question, but a flexible question. And both, it's one and the same. Flexible means easy.